joined by my colleague and partner, Clare Zeltner. Good morning, Claire. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Adam. Thanks for having me. How are you?
Doing well, thanks. Hey, we're going to take a different perspective. Normally, when we do our tech talks, we talk about product features and what have you. But I thought we'd take a different approach and we'd talk about some of the headwinds and tailwinds we're looking to see over the next 6 months, especially as companies are preparing and heading into holiday for
Mhm.
2026. For me, one of the things that really stands out is how good enough is no longer good enough and what that cost is to the retailers. For example, over the last 3 years, we've seen everybody optimizing for speed. Heck, I got an Amazon order I placed this morning that's being delivered today at 5 p.m. That's pretty impressive. But I think the next 6 months is really going to force optimization for resilience. How does that resonate with you, Claire?
I think that what we're seeing as well as, from a partnership side and the customer sides is just like you said, how do you stay good enough? There's a lot of people now who are entering the market and the logistics industry, it's changing drastically. So what we say, is good enough now, probably come Q4 is not going to be good enough. So I think that you need to figure out how you stay ahead of the curve. And one way of doing that is seeing how your technology can leverage you, but also making sure that end consumer still feels important when they get the order. Like you said, Adam, you're getting your order at 5 p.m. today. That's great, but there's different touch points throughout there that you want to make sure that you don't derail the customer experience from that standpoint.
That's fantastic. Agreed. The customer experience, I think, should be front and center. And a couple of things I've noticed on the product and retail side, market volatility. It goes without saying, the whack-a-mole game of tariffs continues to affect production cycles, which is causing twofold margin pressures because if a tariff is applied after you've costed and you've placed your order, you're kind of stuck, but also impacting delivery delays. So inventory fragmentation also adds into this. Delays in updating inventory as a result of disconnected systems also increases that risk of exposing inventory to overselling. So if you've got marketing campaigns based around a product that might not arrive in time and or disconnected systems are leading to overselling, Claire, I think this comes back to forget whether you can get the product to the customer by 5 p.m. It's about making sure that you're getting that customer experience right through all the different touch points.
Absolutely. I'm sure it's no surprise to the people that know me. I love to shop. Adam, you frequently joke about it on your demos. I think I even have my own techOMS store at this point. But the one thing that I do notice is if I don't have that good customer experience, whether I've ordered there 100 times, one time I'm not coming back. And I think that it's important that going back to how do you prepare the curve, inventory allocation, are you marketing correctly? Do you have a strong enough portfolio in-house that you can project for these changes that are going to come? Are you looking at different channels that you're selling on? Do you have alerts when something's running low? Do you have a draft status when you need a supervisor to approve? Are you helping out your VIP customers who are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars with you each year? Are you upgrading them to, expedited services? Are you throwing in a little thank you gift, even a note perhaps? But also, as we get to Q4 as well, you're going to see shipping times become more delayed as well because everyone's ordering, everyone wants to get their gifts in on time. Do you have the carriers to support that? Are you looking at how to get it there the fastest, but also making sure that it gets there in the best experience?
I agree. I think we can really sum it up with operational bottlenecks. Is your team still handling them manually? And if so, why? But and you're touching on next 6 months. You're forward looking. What do you think is really going to separate those reactive retailers or fulfillers from those predictive or responsive retailers and fulfillers?
I think that you need to start looking at what's going to come in the 6 months now. And the reason I say that is I find that over the past couple of years, the holiday season has changed. You're not only looking at, things that every year, okay, this is my best selling product. However, to throw a curveball, social media has become a huge persuader in how people are ordering online. People are getting influenced to buy certain things. So it's a little bit harder to forecast what the next hottest item is going to be because maybe that video hasn't blown up yet or that product hasn't even emerged into the market. So it's absolutely important to look at historical data, but you also need to figure out, okay, if a curveball is thrown at me, how am I going to react to that? Is it maybe hiring app? Is it maybe doing a refresher on, the staff that I have? Also, though, it's how can I leverage my technology that I have today to support me in that, so my staff members don't feel overwhelmed with some of those manual touch points. Am I having them do quality checks? Do we have maybe too many manual touch points? Am I taking the best optimal route to pick these orders? And there's a bunch of different ways that you can look into this. I mentioned earlier, I'm on the partnership side. And if you have, that strong partnership contact or your CSM, reach out to them, say, hey, am I using my technology to the best of my ability? Also ask your team members. The people on the floor who are going to be picking the orders are their front row. They're going to be able to tell you, hey, this is what's working for me. This is what's not. And they might actually be the key to figuring out how you prepare for what's to come.
Absolutely. You touched on something earlier about inventory and alerts when your inventory is low stock to make sure it triggers a reorder point before you run out of stock. I think that's fantastic. That's easy money. And then something that we continue to see, shipping delays. I've been through a Canada Post strike, a Pure Leather strike. I've been through, a second round of potential Canada Post activity. On the US side, fuel surcharges have never been higher. There's carriers who have capacity issues who are limiting surge allotment. I think part of this separation over the next 6 months, the predictive or the responsive fulfillers are the ones that aren't relying on a single carrier. Thinking this is where diversification in carriers really helps shield you from any single event that's going to drive that volatility.
Adam, I couldn't agree more. And that kind of alludes to my point that I made earlier with your portfolio that you have in-house. As I mentioned, the logistics industry is changing. There are so many new carriers that are coming into the market. And I think it's important that as you continue to grow as a company, seeing where you can continue to expand in-house. Because like you said, shipping delays are going to come. You don't know if there's going to be any more strikes. You're constantly going to be wondering what if, but you have to be able to have in your back resources. Okay, I know if X carrier goes down, then I can bring in Y and Z to support that area. So it's all about being prepared and seeing how you can forecast for what's to come.
And this actually ties back to some of the analytics work we're doing here at Techdinamics, where we're starting to build out event-driven operational intelligence. So not just dashboarding, but actually dashboarding that's going to give you the information you need to make operational decisions. Claire, thanks for your time today, and I look forward to seeing how holiday shapes up and circling back in the new year with you.
Thanks for having me, Adam. I look forward to it.